Hello everyone. Our today's session is on pharmacodynamics. We have already seen in last lecture about what is pharmacodynamic and which are the principle of drug actions, which are the mechanism of drug actions, action through receptors. We have already seen different receptor models, two-state model, action through enzymes, action through ion channels, action through transporters, and we have already seen in last lecture G protein coupled receptors. So our today's session is on receptor with enzymatic activity. So there can be intrinsic enzyme receptor or J state kinase binding receptor. So in figure you can see there is a membranes in between membranes there is a two helicals. On the left side you can see two helicals. Outer side is hormone binding site, inner side is catalytic site or enzymatic site. When any ligand or drug bind to the outer side, mainly ligand are peptide hormones. So when peptide hormones bind to the outer side of the helical, two helical comes to near each other and dimerization of the helical occur. After the dimerization of the helical, there is a phosphorylation of tyrosine kinase, ultimately phosphorylation of protein kinase, and ultimately response occur. You can see there is a hormone binding side outer side, catalytic side inner side, and two helicals. When any ligand, mainly hormones, bind to the helicals, both helicals cause the dimerization. So ultimately phosphorylation of tyrosine kinase and phosphorylation of protein kinase, and ultimately response is produced. So it is a receptor with enzymatic activity. An example of this type of receptor ligands are insulins, EGF, epidermal growth factor, nerve growth factor. These are the receptor with enzymatic activity. Now what is Jack state kinase binding receptor? Here also there is a two helical. Outer side is hormone binding site, inner side is Jack binding site. So when cytokines or ligand bind to the outer side, there is a dimerization of these helicals. So ultimately phosphorylation of Janus kinase, which ultimately phosphorylate state. Ultimately dimerization of the state dislocate from here and cause the transcription of the gene and produce the response. फिर से when cytokines bind to these helicals, so dimerization of the helicals, phosphorylation of the Jack means Janus kinase, so ultimately it attracts the state, so ultimately dimerization of the state, then dimerization state dislocate from here and it phosphorylate and ultimately cause transcription of the gene and produce the response. So it is a Jack state binding receptor. So these are the two receptor with enzymatic activity, intrinsic enzyme receptors and Jack state kinase binding receptor. Okay, now receptor regulating gene expression means mainly nuclear receptor. So how it act? So when ligand, this is the ligand, glucocorticoids. So when ligand bind to the receptor, this is the receptor. When ligand bind to the receptor, and this is the cytoplasm, this is the nucleus of the cell. Okay, so when in cytoplasm, when ligand bind to the receptor, receptor ultimately goes to the nucleus. Here there is a dimerization of the receptor. Ultimately it bind to the DNA. Ultimately it produces the transcription. Ultimately translation of the ultimately produce the protein and modification of the cellular function. So it is basically nucleus receptor. फिर से देखो when glucocorticoids bind to its receptor on the cytoplasm, then receptor activated and goes to the nucleus. Here there is a dimerization of the receptor which ultimately bind to the DNA of the cell, and here it causes the transcription and translation and ultimately produce the protein which ultimately modify the cell function and produce the response. Example of this is glucocorticoids receptor, vitamin D receptor, thyroxine receptor, all are nucleus receptors. Okay, so we have already seen G protein coupled receptor, enzymatic receptor, and nuclear receptor. Now, how the receptors are regulated? So, prolonged deprivation of the agonist resulting supersensitivity of receptors. Okay, prolonged deprivation means long time तक हम अगर कोई agonist ना दे receptor को तो there will be supersensitive receptor. What is mechanism? It is because of upregulation of the receptor or amplification of transducer mechanism. It is because of increase the number of receptor. अगर long time तक हम agonist ना दे कोई receptor को तो there will be number of receptor is increased. So it is called upregulation of the receptor. So it causes supersensitivity of the receptor. Example is sudden discontinuation of the propranolol in angina. If we suddenly stop propranolol for the long time in patient with angina, so there will be increase the number of receptor of beta because propranolol is beta blocker. So this is the example of upregulation of receptor, rapid supersensitivity of receptor. Now opposite of it, desensitization of receptor. What happened in desensitization? Continuous intense receptor stimulation causes a less response to the next stimulation. If we are giving continuous agonist to the receptor, then in almost next dose there will be decreasing in the response. It is because of desensitization of receptor. What is mechanism? It is because of masking or internalization of the receptor, या फिर decrease synthesis या फिर increase production of the receptor. It is called down regulation. If we are prolongedly continuously give some agonist to the receptor, so there will be decreased number of receptor and increase the distraction of receptor. So it is called down regulation of receptor. So ultimately it causes desensitization of receptor. So by these two process receptor is regulated either because of up regulation and supersensitivity या फिर down regulation and desensitization of the receptor. Okay, now second part is DRC, dose response relationship curve. So DRC can be graded or quantile. So how DRC is plotted? So in the x-axis there will be dose of the drug and the y-axis there is a response in the patient. So it is the dose against the response in patient curve. So in graded DRC there is a response of individual in drug. x-axis पे डोजेस होंगे, y पे रिस्पॉन्स, लेकिन वो एक इंडिविजुअल्स के होंगे. क्वांटल DRC there will be response of population. Quantal DRC means drug response curve, means effect of dose on population. It is called quantal DRC. It is all or none law. So let's see first graded response curve. So here you can see in figure, in x-axis there is a dose of the drug, in y-axis there is a percentage of maximal effect, means response. Okay, you can see drug A and drug B. Now what is EC50? Effective concentration 50 is the concentration of the drug that produce response equal to 50% of the maximum response. It is called EC50. EC50 means concentration of the drug is required to produce 50% of maximum response. Maximum response से half. जो concentration produce करेगा वो concentration को बोलेंगे EC50. So you can see for the drug A EC50 is low and for the drug B EC50 is high. So it is basically simple dose response curve. Now logarithmic dose response curve. You can see in the x-axis there is a log dose of the drug. Here you can see log dose. In the y-axis there is a effect of the drug. So here you can see the potency of the drug can be compared using the EC50. The smaller the EC50, more the potent drugs. Here you can see drug A and drug B. The EC50 for the drug A is here, and EC50 for the drug B is here. So effective concentration to produce the 50% of effect. Here is the 50%. So drug A required lower dose, drug B require more dose for the EC50. So drug A is more potent. So you can compare the potency. Potency of the drug can be compared by EC50. Okay. Other things is in between this. This is called sigmoid curve. Sigmoid S-shaped curve in the logarithmic dose response curve. In between the S, there is a between 30 to 70%. Between 30 to 70%, there is a simple linear growth of the curve. Here the linear growth. So from this linear growth, you can compare the two drug agonist and antagonist. Other advantage is wide range of dose can be plotted in the curve. Wide range of dose can be plotted in the curve because of it is a log dose. So one advantage is wide range of drug dose plotted because of log dose, and other advantage is we can compare of the two drugs agonist and antagonist in between these 30 to 70% line. This is the advantage of log dose response curve. This is a simple dose response curve. This is the log dose response curve. Now let's see some definition. What is potency? Potency means minimum amount of drug to produce the response. Potency means minimum amount of drug required to produce the response. Efficacy means ability of drug to produce the maximum response. Efficacy means ability of drug to produce maximum response. So potency is minimum amount of dose and efficacy is maximum effect. So you can see in the example. In x-axis there is a log dose, y-axis there is a force of contraction. So drug X require this much dose to produce the response. Drug Y required here dose. Drug Z required this much dose. Drug X produce this much effect. Drug Y produce this much effect. Drug Z produce this much effect. So what is potency? So potency means minimum dose required to produce effect. So here drug X has minimum dose to produce this effect. So drug X is more potent than drug Y and Z. So potent is drug X. And efficacy means maximum response. So maximum response of drug X is lower, drug Y is lower, maximum response is of drug Z. So drug Z is more efficacious than drug Y and X. So from the example you can see drug X is more potent and drug Z is more efficacious compared to X and Y. So that one graded dose response curve. Now what is quantile dose response curve? Quantile dose response curve means dose against the response in population. It can be all or none law. It can follow the all or none law. So here x-axis there is a drug dose, y-axis there is a individual response in percentage. So from this quantile dose response curve you can see effective dose 50 means 50% response के लिए कितना dose चाहिए. You can measures. ED50 can be measured from quantile dose response curve, and Emax maximum effect can be measured from this curve. This is the dose response curve, and this is the cumulatory response curve. Okay, so what is quantile dose response curve? So it is a dose against the response in population. You can measure effective dose 50 to produce 50% effect and Emax maximum effect. Okay, now second one is therapeutic index. What is it? So therapeutic index is the ratio of the dose that produce the toxicity and to the ratio of the dose that produce the desired effect. It is called therapeutic index. So therapeutic index is equal to lethal dose. LD means lethal dose 50 upon effective dose 50. This is therapeutic. So it is the ratio of dose that produce the therapeutic effect upon dose that produce the therapeutic index means dose that produce the toxicity upon dose that produce the effect. Lethal dose upon effective dose. Let's see the example. So in graph you can see x-axis there is a dose and y-axis there is a response. Okay, it is a drug for mainly hypnosis. So it produces the hypnosis at this dose and effective dose 50. ED50 is 100. So here the ED50 is 100. Okay, at this dose patient is death, so it is a toxicity. So toxicity means lethal dose 50. So lethal dose means here the patient is LD50 is 400, so 400. So it is the 400 by 100. So it is a therapeutic index is 4. So basically you have to remember therapeutic index is equal to LD50 upon ED50. Lethal dose 50 upon effective dose 50. It is a ratio of toxic effect upon desired effect. Okay, now what is therapeutic window phenomena? So it is the optimal therapeutic effect seen only over a narrow range of plasma concentration. Both above and below that range, there is a suboptimal या फिर टॉक्सिक इफेक्ट स्टार्ट. इट इज कॉल्ड थेरापेटिक विंडो. मतलब एक विंडो या एक नैरो रेंज में ही प्लाज्मा कंसंट्रेशन में ही ड्रग की इफेक्ट आती है. अगर प्लाज्मा कंसंट्रेशन वो रेंज से कम है तो इफेक्ट नहीं आएगी, अगर वो रेंज से ज़्यादा है तो टॉक्सिक इफेक्ट आएगी. इट इज़ अ नैरो रेंज जिसमें इफेक्ट आएगी. अगर बिलो होगी तो सब ऑप्टिमल इफेक्ट, और अगर हाई होगी तो टॉक्सिसिटी अपीयर होगी. ओके, लेट्स सी द एग्जांपल. इट इज़ अ warfarin, which is small therapeutic index drug. So you can see x-axis there is a log dose and y-axis there is the percentage of patient. So the first graph is of desired therapeutic effect, and the second one is at this type concentration there is a unwanted or toxic effect. So between these two, it is called therapeutic window, between the therapeutic effect and adverse effect. This dose range, plasma concentration range, is called therapeutic window. Below this there is a no effect, more than this there is a toxic effect. So warfarin is narrow therapeutic index drug. Second one is penicillin. It is a large therapeutic index drug. You can see in the graph. This is the dose for the desired effect, and this is the plasma concentration or dose for the adverse effects. In between these two there is a therapeutic window. So here you can see there is a large window between these two, and here there is a small window. So here small plasma concentration range, here large plasma concentration range for the this effect and adverse effect. So penicillin is large therapeutic index drug. Okay, now what is combined effect of drug? So it can be antagonism or synergism. When we give a two molecular two drugs and produce the effect in same direction, then it is called synergism. When we giving two drugs or two molecule and effect produced are in opposite direction, then it is a antagonist. So what is synergism? So synergism means additive effect या फिर super additive. In additive, if we combine drug A and drug B, then effect is AB. So individual effect of drug A and drug B same as combination effect drug A and B. In super additive, example of this type of drug in additive are ibuprofen and paracetamol. Brand name is Combiflam. या फिर amlodipine and atenolol. So if you are given ibuprofen along या फिर propranolol along, it produces same effect as is given in combination. Super additive means if you are giving along drug A and along B drug B, then if we are using combination of these drugs, so combination is produce more effect than individual drug. Example are levodopa and carbidopa. Individual levodopa and carbidopa produce effect, but you are giving combination, then it produce more effect than individual drug. Acetylcholine and physostigmine, this combination produce more effect than individual drug. Sulfamethoxazole and trimethoprim combination produce more effect than individual dose. So these are the example of super additive effect in synergism. So additive in synergism there can be additive and super additive. Additive means individual या फिर combination produce same effect, and super additive combination produce more effect than individual drug. So now antagonism. So antagonism can be receptor antagonism या फिर non-receptor antagonism. In non-receptor antagonism, it can be chemical antagonism. Example of chemical antagonism is KMNO4 used for the gastric lavage. Tannic acid used for the gastric lavage. It is example of chemical antagonism. या फिर chelating agent used in poisoning, metal poisoning. Chelating agent used in metal poisoning. It is also chemical antagonism. Physical means charcoal adds of the alkaloids. Charcoal which adds of the alkaloids. It is the example of physical antagonism. Physiological antagonism means effect of adrenaline and histamine on blood pressure and respiratory smooth muscle. Effect of adrenaline and histamine on smooth muscle of bronchus and blood pressure. It is antagonism of physiological. Now receptor antagonism. So receptor antagonism can be at the active binding site या फिर allosteric site. Receptor antagonism, so receptor binding at the active binding site या फिर allosteric site. So in active binding site it can be reversible or irreversible. So if receptor binding site, active binding site, and it is reversible, then it is competitive antagonism. In allosteric site then can be reversible or irreversible. So what is competitive antagonism and non-competitive antagonism? In competitive antagonism, it mainly reversibly acting and mainly binding to the active side. Non-competitive antagonist mainly reversible या irreversible and can be binding to the active binding side या फिर allosteric side. So this is the antagonism of drug. फिर से देखो, नॉन रिसेप्टर एंटागोनिस्ट कैन बी केमिकल, फिजियोलॉजिकल एंड फिजिकल, एंड इन द रिसेप्टर एंटागोनिस्ट इट कैन बी एक्टिव बाइंडिंग साइट या फिर एलोस्टेरिक साइट. इन एक्टिव बाइंडिंग साइट कैन बी रिवर्सिबल या इरिवर्सिबल. इन एलोस्टेरिक साइट ऑल्सो कैन बी रिवर्सिबल या इरिवर्सिबल. In competitive antagonist mainly reversible and it is only active binding site, and non-competitive antagonist mainly reversible or irreversible and can be bind to the allosteric site or can be bind to the active site. This is the receptor antagonist. Okay, now what is the difference between competitive antagonist and non-competitive antagonist? So generally competitive antagonist, the antagonist bind to the reversibly to the active site. In non-competitive mainly to the allosteric side. What is the difference? The competitive antagonism या फिर equilibrium type of antagonism and against the non-competitive antagonism. So antagonist bind to the same receptor as the agonist. Antagonist bind to the same site of receptor as the agonist. It is in competitive antagonist. Here antagonist bind to the another side या फिर allosteric side. We have already seen non-competitive bind to the allosteric side. Antagonist resemble chemically same as the agonist. मतलब antagonist resemble as the agonist. Here antagonist does not resemble to the agonist. In DRC, parallel rightward shift of agonist DRC. In DRC, rightward shifting of the DRC occurs because of competitive antagonism. And in non-competitive, there is a flattening of DRC. In non-competitive antagonism, there is a flattening of DRC. Same maximal response can be attained by increase the dose. So surmountable antagonist. And here maximum response is suppressed. So here unsurmountable agonist. If we increase the dose, same response occur. Here maximum response is suppressed. Antagonist appear to have inactive a certain number of agonist molecule. And here antagonist appear to inactive a certain number of receptor. Here agonist molecule, here receptor. Intensity of response depend upon the concentration of the agonist and antagonist. जिसका कंसंट्रेशन ज़्यादा होगा वो बाइंड होगा अगोनिस्ट या एंटागोनिस्ट. एंड मैक्सिमम रिस्पॉन्स डिपेंड्स ऑनली द डिपेंड्स ऑन एंटागोनिस्ट. हियर डिपेंड ओनली एंटागोनिस्ट. एग्जांपल इज एसिटाइलकोलिन रिसेप्टर एंड एट्रोपिन, मॉर्फिन एंड नैलोक्सोन. एंड हियर एग्जांपल इज डायजेपामाइन बिक्यूकुलिन. So you should remember, in competitive antagonism, agonist and antagonist are same, bind to the same side, chemically resemble, and the binding is depend on concentration. अगर agonist का concentration ज़्यादा है तो वो bind होगा, अगर antagonist का concentration ज़्यादा है तो वो bind होगा. In non-competitive antagonism, agonist bind to the different side, mainly allosteric side, and it is not resemble as agonist. agonist and antagonist दोनों same नहीं होंगे, antagonist generally different होगा और different side पे bind होगा. And mainly binding is depend on concentration of antagonist. agonist पे कोई depend नहीं करता. So same receptor here, the allosteric side, chemically same, chemically different. Rightward shift of the DRC, flattening of the DRC, surmountable, here unsurmountable. Concentration depend on agonist and antagonist. Concentration depend only on antagonist. Example is acetylcholine, atropine, naloxone, morphine, and diazepam, bicuculin. So here we complete the pharmacodynamic part 2. So let's revise what is pharmacodynamic. So pharmacodynamic means what drug does to the body. We have already seen. Pharmacokinetic means absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion. Pharmacodynamic means mainly effect of the drug. So what drug does to the body. Principle of drug action, so mainly through stimulation, depression, replacement या irritation. Mechanism of drug action, so can be physical या chemical या फिर biomolecule. Main action is through biomolecule. In biomolecule there can be through enzymes, through ion channels, through transporter या फिर through receptor. So what is the receptor? So mainly binding side where ligand is bind. What is ligand? So any agonist which bind to the receptor, it is called ligand. Then different bonds. What is agonist? कि जो फिजियोलॉजिकल सिग्नल मॉलिक्यूल के डायरेक्शन में रिस्पॉन्स देगा. एंड पार्शियल एगोनिस्ट सब मैक्सिमल रिस्पॉन्स देगा. एंटागोनिस्ट ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में नो रिस्पॉन्स देगा, कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं होगा एंटागोनिस्ट का. इनवर्स एगोनिस्ट ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में रिस्पॉन्स देगा. रिसेप्टर थियरी, लॉकेन की थियरी, रिसेप्टर ऑक्यूपेशन थियरी, क्लार्क्स इक्वेशन. ओके, सम डेफिनेशंस. पैर रिसेप्टर, सो लेस देन 1% अगर एगोनिस्ट बाइंड हुआ तो भी मैक्सिमम रिस्पॉन्स देगा. साइलेंट रिसेप्टर अगोनिस्ट बाइंड होगा पर कोई फार्माकोलॉजिकल इफेक्ट नहीं होगी। ऑर्फन रिसेप्टर वो रिसेप्टर के लिए कोई एंडोजीनियस एंटागोनिस्ट या अगोनिस्ट है ही नहीं, कोई लिगेंड है ही नहीं, इसको बोलेंगे ऑर्फन रिसेप्टर्स। टू स्टेट मीन्स एक्टिव एंड इनएक्टिव स्टेट ऑफ रिसेप्टर मॉडल्स। देन action through receptors, so can be enzyme link, can be antigen link, can be G protein, can be nuclear. So first one, enzyme link receptor action, so it can be activating enzyme or inactivating enzyme, so produce the effect or inhibit the effects. Example of this drug and their enzymes, the most of the drugs are inhibit to the enzymes, only some of the drugs stimulate the enzymes. Action through ion channels, so it can be sodium channel, calcium, potassium, and drug is either open or block this type of channels. Action through transporters, so transporters can be solute carrier transporter या ATP binding cassette transporter. These are the drugs and the example of transporters. Main IMP topic is G protein couple receptor. उसका structure कैसा है? 7 radical helical membranes, 3 outside, 3 inside. Outer side agonist binding side, inner side G protein binding side with alpha beta gamma subunit. कैसे इफेक्ट होगी? अगोनिस्ट बाइंडिंग होगा तो अल्फा जीडीपी अलग होगा बीटा गामा से, जीटीपी एक्टिवेट होगा, मेनली एक्शन देगा, जीटीपी के एक्शन खत्म होने के बाद वो हाइड्रोलाइज होकर जीडीपी में कन्वर्ट होगा और फिर उसकी साइड पे बाइंड हो जाएगा। कौन से जी प्रोटीन के पाथवे है? तो एक पाथवे है एडिनल साइक्लिक एमपी पाथवे, साइक्लिक एमपी इज द सेकंड मैसेंजर। Here you can see beta receptor agonist is adrenaline, muscarinic receptor agonist is acetylcholine. Here receptor is G stimulatory, here G inhibitory receptor, ultimately activation of the adenyl cyclase, protein kinase A, ultimately response. So cyclic AMP is second messenger. Here second pathway is phospholipase C IP3 dark pathway. Here the histaminic receptor agonist is histamine. GQ is there, it activates phospholipase C, ultimately IP3 and DAG. These are the second messenger and produce the effect. Now receptor with enzymatic activity, so there can be intrinsic enzymatic receptor या फिर JAK state kinase receptor. In both of these there is a two helical membranes. When the ligand is bind, so dimerization of the membrane, phosphorylation of tyrosine kinase and protein kinase, and response is produced. Here also, when agonist is binding, dimerization of the helicals. JAK means Janus kinase activated state means dimerization of the state and phosphorylation of the state and produce the effect. Receptor through nuclear means gene expression, nucleus receptor. So when the ligand is bind, the receptor goes to the nucleus, dimerization of the receptor, attached to DNA, transcription, translation, and modulation of the protein, and effect is produced. Receptor regulation, so receptor can cause upregulation या सुपरसेंसिटिव रिएक्शन. इफ वी आर प्रोलॉन्ग डेप्रिवेशन ऑफ द रिसेप्टर, लॉन्ग टाइम तक अगोनिस्ट नहीं देंगे तो रिसेप्टर का इंक्रीज होगा, नंबर ऑफ रिसेप्टर इंक्रीज होंगे, इट इज कॉल्ड अपरेगुलेशन या सुपरसेंसिटिव ऑफ द रिसेप्टर. अगर हम कंटिन्यूस अगोनिस्ट या एंटागोनिस्ट देंगे रिसेप्टर को, so there is a decreased number of receptor and increased distraction of the receptor, so desensitization of the receptor. What is DRC? So dose against the response. What is graded? Graded means in the individual and quantile means in the population. So DRC normally this type of shape and in the sigmoid shape in the logarithmic DRC. Advantage of DRC, we can compare the large number of drug doses and we can compare the agonist and antagonist effect. What is potency? Minimum amount to produce the effect. What is efficacy? The maximum effect produced by a drug, it is called efficacy. Here the drug X is most potent and drug Z is most efficacious. Quantal dose response curve, so it is the response of dose drug and against the population. What is therapeutic index? It is the ratio of lethal dose upon effective dose 50. So lethal dose is 400, effective 100, so therapeutic index is 4. What is therapeutic window phenomena? So it is the narrow plasma concentration. Below this there is no effect, above this there is the toxic effect. So warfarin is narrow window phenomena and penicillin is large therapeutic window. What is combined effect? So combined effect can be antagonism या फिर synergism. Synergism means either additive effect या super additive. In additive there is a same effect is combination या फिर individual of the drug. Example, in a super additive combination effect is more than individual drug effect. These are the example. Antagonism means prevent the action of agonist. Antagonist की खुद की कोई एक्शन नहीं है, इट प्रिवेंट द एक्शन ऑफ अगोनिस्ट. सो इट कैन बी रिसेप्टर या थ्रू नॉन रिसेप्टर. नॉन रिसेप्टर कैन बी केमिकल, कैन बी फिजिकल या फिर फिजियोलॉजिकल. रिसेप्टर एंटागोनिज्म कैन बी एक्टिव बाइंडिंग साइट या फिर एलोस्टेरिक साइट. In active binding site, reversible and irreversible. In allosteric site, it can be reversible and irreversible. Mainly competitive antagonist through reversible and it mainly active binding site. Non-competitive bind can active binding के allosteric site and it is mainly irreversible. What is the difference between competitive and non-competitive antagonist? So competitive antagonism, that agonist and antagonist resemble same, bind to the same side. It depends the concentration of both agonist and antagonist. And its example in non-competitive antagonist bind to the allosteric side. It does not resemble as agonist, and mainly concentration depends on antagonist. Where drug graph is going in DRC, non-competitive antagonist is flat, and competitive antagonist DRC is going to rightward. Example of competitive antagonist is acetylcholine and atropine, morphine and naloxone. An example of non-competitive antagonist is diazepam and bicuculline. So here we complete the pharmacodynamic session. Thank you very much.